Hello, Abraham. I love the way you make me feel about myself. I just wanted to share that with you. And a quick story, I'm out. This is about words don't teach, but life does. Well, I was in San Diego. We had a really nice discussion about the trains. We were flying so high. Then I went back to Charlotte. I crashed so hard. My website disappeared from the internet. My people started quitting. Somebody was going to buy my house, walked out. I go, oh, this is how I met Abraham about crashing the drone. And I stopped because I knew all I had to do is just chill. It was nearly impossible to chill because momentum was going. So I kept posting on Facebook, I hate momentum. It's miserable. As I was trying to dig myself out of the hole, I said, stop trying to dig yourself out of the hole. Then one day, after however long since San Diego, 3 days ago, I decided to meditate. I mean, I meditate every day, but I consciously wanted to really expand. Surrender, if you will.
Because it's like we were talking about earlier. You get enough engines stacked up in opposition to each other, then the subject that you thought it was about becomes irrelevant and unimportant. And the true subject, which is your happiness, takes flight.
Yeah. So I kept thinking, don't worry about Google, worry about law of attraction. My Google is in the vortex. That's going to work. Don't worry about the marketing and all that. So I'm sitting outside.
Vortex is the non-physical equivalent of
Indeed.
Google.
Ah.
And being in the receptive mode is the equivalent of a really good search engine.
Yeah. So I'm sitting out in the sun, enjoying it. I started feeling how nice it feels on my skin and expanded all the energy. And I was in a great place. Walked in, and my wife said, people who are going to buy our house, the second offer, who we were going to fund it for the next house, pulled the plug. They're not going to buy the house. And she was a little bit stressed. And I wasn't. And it didn't really penetrate because I was in a really good space and I was wise enough to recognize that I had built enough momentum that her unhappiness didn't bring me back.
And in like manner, I've built enough momentum relative to what's in my vortex that my current belief can't hinder me either.
Yes.
If my current belief can just go to sleep for a little while.
Right. So
if it can be suspended through rest or meditation or redirecting my focus.
Yeah.
Because every thought that's ever been thought still exists, but I don't have to have it active in me right now. Acting as engine competition.
So then I made a phone call. And a friend of mine said, yeah, I'll buy your house. I'll close tomorrow. He sent me a check. And the other people accepted our offer. And it was actually easier.
Because the fruit is already riper than you allow yourself to know it to be. You are more ready for the culminations. But it does take a tweaking of your vibration, which apparently you had to suffer quite a bit before you desired to not suffer.
And that's why I wanted to come here and talk to you, because this is similar to what you guys used to share about Jerry's question about why do you have to bottom out to surrender. I'd like your help to help me in the process of
Well, the answer is you don't
quicker.
have to bottom out. But we've had a couple of discussions like that already here today, haven't we? And what's at the bottom of that is not believing in your own worthiness to have what you want just because you want it. Jerry, as he was counseling people financially, some of them would be in great financial trouble from a big lifestyle. And the first thing that they would usually lose was the boat. And then the third car, and then the second car, and then. And he noticed that often they had to just lose it all, but then they would bounce back. He noticed that once it was all gone, then they would bounce back. And he wondered, why can't they just lose some of it and then bounce back? And the answer to that is that in the losing all of it, there is a not trying to cling to any of it. And when you stop the attempt at clinging to any of it, then there's no resistance, and then your cork just bobs right back to the surface again. But now you understand that you can turn it around. You can let your cork begin bobbing at any point along the process. You don't have to lose in order to let go. Because it's not the letting go of the material objects, it's not the letting go of the things, it's not the letting go of the manifestations, it's the letting go of the resistance that is in opposition to the desire. But before you can begin to do that, you have to know what resistance feels like and what it means. And it means that my inner being sees clearly the path to the light that I want, and I'm clearly looking at it otherwise. And you don't even have to figure out what your inner being knows that you don't know. You don't even have to figure out what your inner being knows and start drumming that and making that come out of your mouth. You just have to stop beating the drum of what you know. When you stop beating the drum of what you believe, the beliefs of your inner being will carry you right to where your inner being knows you want to be. So this whole conversation falls into the category of trying too hard, doesn't it? Of trying to justify my experience, trying to validate my experience, trying to prove my worthiness, mostly to other people. Isn't it nice to know that you don't have to do that? Wouldn't it be nice if you knew that? Wouldn't it be nice if you really understood that you don't have to prove anything to anyone, that life is supposed to be good for you, and that your inner being and all that is helping you, helping it be that way, and that if you could just believe in yourself a little more or trust a little more. So then our friend says, well, maybe you have to touch on those sore spots in order to be willing to let them go. Can you touch on a sore spot enough to make it not be sore? This is a really important way to finish this day. Can you touch on a sore spot enough to make it stop being sore? Or does it just become more and more sore? So what's the answer? Stop touching on the sore spot. Find thoughts that don't hurt you. Oh, that thought hurts. Oh, I got to get to the bottom of that. Ow, I got to get to the bottom of them.
Is that programming? Why do we do that? Because if something doesn't work, if I have a hangnail, it's like,
you can call it programming, or you could call it momentum, or you could call it the results that law of attraction will yield to you in response to whatever you're giving your attention to. So if it hurts, stop doing it now if you can, and if you can't, it'll hurt more, and eventually it will hurt so much that your desire for it not to hurt will dominate. That's how some people make their transition into non-physical. They just can't take this anymore. Don't you love knowing this? And don't you like ending on the death note?
Yeah.